r/AskReddit. Which type of tattoo makes you cringe the most? Those creepy faces of babies, which look like there's a little demon on your body. Baby face are so hard to get right. They don't have the same proportions as adults. Even drawings of babies are creepy 9 out of 10 times. When I was in college, my friend was talking to some girl he worked with and she brought her very unattractive, trashy, older friend. The friend had a tattoo on her shoulder of a face. I said, "You must really like E.T. That movie scared the shit out of me as a child." I was being honest. I thought it was E.T. It turns out that it was her daughter. Her daughter looked just like E.T. I was in line behind a guy who had a tattoo on his neck of 2 obese, naked cartoon women going at it. Tongues hanging out, flying sweat drops, the works. What else is he supposed to jerk off to? It's on his neck. It's more of a public service than a personal use thing. Armpit kittens. It's when someone gets 2 women's legs tattooed around their armpit hair. Yes. Nothing says I've been to prison for cooking meth in my trailer like a Joker neck or face tattoo. In my country, if you have a clown tattooed, it means you are a cop killer. What country? Brazil. Tattoos off brands. It's basically free advertising. At least email them what they would pay you if you advertise for them till you die. Domino's actually did a promotion in Russia where if you got a tattoo of their logo in a visible place, you'd get free pizza for the next 100 years. So many people did it that Domino's stopped the promotion rather quickly. Sayings, especially ones that span multiple limbs areas. I was in the army with a guy from Texas that thought he was hard as woodpecker lips. Had Cowboy the Duck up tattooed across his forearms, ostensibly so if he put his fists up to fight you, you would read it and, I don't know, be scared or something. He never got in any fights that I know of, but due to the size he wanted it and shitty planning. One arm said Cowboy and the other arm simply read Duck Up, and he immediately became known as Cowboy the Duck Up. ETA. Dumbus PV2 Waldo get me my first gold award LOL thanks stranger. It took me a minute to realize that it was supposed to be about being a badass and not Cowboy the Duck Up. After being around some of the younger guys from my husband's units, the latter seemed pretty plausible. Famous people. I get it that you really are a fan of said famous person, but to permanently ink their face onto yourself is borderline crazy emo. Like that guy with the full back Steve-O tattoo. Just saw a couple of days ago a writing on some dude. Can of ice and a beach, just as I wrote it. He's just expressing support for his friend Canna. She might not be a sun, but she isn't a beach. Me reading these replies to see if any of my tattoos are on here. I don't know the exact English word, but in German it's called ass antlers. I'm not sure what it's actually supposed to represent, but it kind of looks like you've got a deer tossing your salad inside your pants. Haha, while I like this interpretation, I'm pretty sure it's their word for a tramp stamp. Lips on the neck. I get it. You're a gangster with an attitude problem and probably want to fight. Come to New Mexico. You'll see this so goddamn much, on both men and women, that you'll get used to it and it'll stop bothering you. A defendant in the courtroom I clerked in during law school had homicide tattooed on his face, over his eyebrow. Not a great look. Know a girl who tattooed her firstborn's name as a tramp stamp. Not what I would want someone to be looking at while tagging from behind. A reminder that she's ovulating and that you are making a significant commitment. Barbed wire around the arm that doesn't even go all the way because it hurt too bad. How else would you let everyone know that you lifted weights in 1996? That and tribal tattoos on your delts. Couple tattoos like portraits or names, mostly when they proudly tell you it's because they've been together for 5 months and just know they stay together forever. Any tattoos like name plus name, together forever, because if that relationship goes down and the two break up, that is gonna be awkward. My first tattoo, I went to get my daughter's name and her birthday. The guy tried so hard to talk me out of it and I couldn't understand why. He goes, man, a name and date is just gonna turn into a bad memory one day. And then I realized he thought this was a girlfriend or something. Told him it was my kid and he goes, oh, alright, let me go get set up, haha. More related story. My daughter's mom, ex, has my name tattooed on her wrist and I laugh to myself every time I see her. FAQs. He thought you were dating a child? No, I can't imagine. Probably figured it was an anniversary or just didn't look to see what the date actually was. I once stood in line behind a lady who had, like, the bad tattoo parade going from the nape of her neck. She had "Only God Can Judge Me" something in Asian characters, and an ugly, faded, poorly drawn crucifix. Only God is allowed to judge her, bruh. Better delete this. That stupid cliche thing that says life one way and death the other. When I was 15 I was hanging out with a group of friends and we get a phone call from our weed guy and says he's doing tattoos for $20 in his basement. There were 6 of us and the car only fit 5. And I said, you guys are stupid if you think you're going to get a good tattoo from this guy. One guy got love on one wrist and hate on the other and it looked like a child wrote it. Another guy got a Celtic cross on his arm that looked like shit. Another got a word written on his side across his ribs and the tattoo artist told him to keep his arm stretched up high while he was doing it. Now when he puts his arm down the word gets squished together. Somehow they still thought they were so duckin' cool afterwards and showed them to everyone at school while everyone made fun of them. The love-hate guy kept them pretty private and is also the only one of them that's a good person, lol. Knew of a guy once who had dubstep tattooed on his chest in very large letters. He also insisted that dubstep was the future of music and was here to stay. NSFW tattoos. Like it's cool that you really love your girlfriend's vagina, or that you want to showcase a ginormous imaginary dong you have. But the rest of us don't really want to see that. To be fair though, I haven't really seen these much in person, mostly online. My ex, 6 months after we broke up, got a tattoo of me tied up shibari style on his lower arm and sent it to me. The last conversation we had while we were together was about going to a shibari class. This is an educated man who works in an office and will never be able to roll his shirt sleeves up. Memes. The thought that a lot of people have dead memes from 2017 on their arms or legs is kinda funny. Imagine having a troll face meme on you in 2020. Problem? One time I saw a lower back tattoo that was the Target logo, a bullseye, and it really solidified for me why those are called tramp stamps. Edit. Thank you to those reminding me that the tattooed cum zone on this gentle lady's back was in fact a bullseye, and not the Target logo, which is in fact a bullseye. I guess that person wanted to rebel against their Walmart frequenting family. The Only God Can Judge Me tattoo. No, we can all judge you. Especially judges. Tattoos that are gifts from you to someone else. For example, for your birthday, I got your birth date tattooed on me, and tattoos with spelling errors. Example, were you really there if you think you were there? I thought tattoo presents were just paying for your friend's tattoo. I'm glad I didn't know that, and wish I could unknow it. Former tattoo artist here, and it has to be infinity symbols, especially when they want them to be unique. So they have you spend 3 hours drawing up different ways of cramming little McKaysley and Braxton's names, birth dates, birth weights, blood types, and favorite ice cream flavors in there. Fine, I'll find a way. I can work for my money. Oh, and can it also have a thin blue line in there for my husband? Sure, lady, and maybe some birds breaking off of it. Cause my mima loves birds. Sigh. Yep, okay. And can you do it on the side of my finger in white ink? Duck you. Get out. Edit. Bonus points on these if they walk in holding a monogrammed Yeti tumbler full of the alcohol they're trying to smuggle in. Swastika. Especially on the forehead. Any tattoo with something in Chinese or Japanese written on it. I am learning Japanese cause why not? And I saw this dude with a tattoo saying sakana. Fish. I was like, hey, what does that mean? And he said poison. He may have typed poisson into Google Translate, lol. Baby faces. You have a child. I get it. You love him. But he will be a generic newborn for a few months, and you will think fondly ever after about his grown-up version, with specific facial features. His baby picture will mean very little after a while. Any tattoos of genitals or an anus makes me cringe. I refuse to sink next to an anchor. That is literally what anchors are made for. I have a rubber ducky that says refuse to sink. I'd see what you want tattooed on your body. I do however hate seeing shitty work egg, poor line work, muddy colors, incoherent shading, disproportionate shaping, etc. Bad portraits, misspellings. Be happy. Be free, live, laugh, stay positive. Daddy's lil girl, daddy's princess. These tattoos they get, at least put some thought and make it original or unique or at least interesting. I have a tramp stamp that says no regrets in very fancy cursive. It's the only tattoo my dad laughed at rather than cringed. I can judge no one. Some vague inspirational quote that in all likelihood the tattooee didn't even choose before they went to the tattoo parlor, but rather selected from a pre-chosen list written up by the parlor. Yeah, well only God can judge me. Once I saw a dude in a gym who had an elephant tattooed in his crotch. Guess what was the trunk? Face with hand over mouth and rosy cheeks. Those little mustaches on the pointer finger. The rebel flag. Where I'm from that's the usual tattoo and it makes me cringe. What else is a Star Wars fan supposed to get a tattoo of? The superior empire? Godsmack's son. I feel bad when I see people my age that got those barbed wire tattoos. Literally everyone had them, so they all look the same. Tramp stamps were pretty bad too. At least the barbed wire did look kind of cool. I've never seen a tramp stamp that I liked. The people who put words from a language they don't understand cause it's quirky and 99% of the time it isn't proofread so it doesn't say what they think it does. Lame calligraphy of the Pinterest type. I work with the deceased. I've seen a direct correlation between only God can judge ME tattoos and being a victim of gunshot homicide. Juggalo tattoos don't bode well for MVAs. Tasmanian devils go hand in hand with gastric bleeds from chronic alcohol consumption. The clinically depressed seem to like dolphins. A crush of mine got a tattoo of Hank Williams on her breast. Totally killed my interest in her LOL. Imagine being in the middle of Curtis and seeing an old dude in cowboy hat staring at you while she demands you go harder. No sir, I'm out. Post Malone's face. Last name across the back. Like who needs that? Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content bruh. It's free and that's a great price.